Welcome to Deschutes Public Library. I'm Liz Goodrich, part of the Community Relations team, and we have been busy since March 13th putting a lot of content on our YouTube channel. Everything from DIY programs to poetry readings to story times and great historical programs like the one you're going to see today. Also, if you take a minute and click on the link in the description of the YouTube video, that takes you to our online survey. We are always interested in your feedback. So if you would do that for us, we'd appreciate it. I'd like to introduce Arizona native Anna Johnson. She became fascinated by the Dia de los Muertos celebration, regalia, and makeup 8 years ago when she lived in Oregon. When in college, she performed pantomime professionally, so it is not surprising that Anna dresses up and attends Dia de los Muertos celebrations in Arizona. She has won contests for her Catrina look and enjoys taking photos with festival attendees. Anna has attended Dia de los Muertos celebrations in Mesa and Sedona and looks forward to the day when we can all gather again to celebrate traditionally. An Arizona State University broadcast journalism graduate, Anna also studied theater and public communications in college. With over 20 years of experience as a public information specialist and community theater volunteer, both on and off the stage, she is at her best when learning about or visiting historic buildings and believes that everything with age has value and has a great story to tell. She currently lives in Goodyear, Arizona, and is a writer and editor for the Arizona Game and Fish Department's wildlife conservation magazine, Arizona Wildlife Views. Please welcome Anna Johnson.
Hi, and welcome to the presentation Dia de los Muertos, celebrating our dearly departed. I'm Anna Johnson, and I'll be taking you through this brief presentation so that you know all about Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos. I absolutely love this holiday because it's got a really good message that would typically be sad. It celebrates the memory of those that have passed on. We don't worship the dead. That's not what this holiday is about. It is about remembering those that we love and cherish that are no longer with us. So I like to put together my own costume. This is the look of La Calavera Catrina. So calavera means skull in Spanish. And this character was originally created by an artist in the early 1900s. He was a Mexican printmaker, lithographer, and cartoon illustrator. His name was Jose Guadalupe Posada. He was making a political statement with this European look, and you can look that up online to find out all about what he was trying to say with that look. But La Catrina has become a universal image representing Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead holiday every year. For my costume, I like to bring together items that have been given to me by very wonderful women who are no longer with us, like my two grandmothers. These earrings and this necklace are from one grandmother's collection, and then this rosary was actually used by my grandmother, and my other grandmother, and she's no longer with us. So very special items. This shawl my mother gave to me, and then this hat my mother gave to me, and I've added some flowers, and let's see what else. I've added pom-poms that are meant to look like marigolds, and I'll tell you more about those. I like to paint my face by hand because it takes about 2 hours. That gives me a lot of time to think about who I'm remembering this year for Dia de los Muertos, and I think that makes it really special. It's a completely different look than airbrushing. It's very different than that, but for me personally, I like to remember and be challenged by doing this look myself to see how it turns out different every single year. So my dresses, there's two here. There's two different layers. I usually wear black sleeves here so that you can't see my skin, and then I put gloves on that look like skeleton hands. But I'll be looking through some notes today, and I won't be able to turn the pages, so I thought I would leave those off. But also, when I'm at celebrations, I'll carry this beautiful fan, and I'll carry some really dark burgundy flowers as well. And so people like to take pictures, and it's a lot of fun to go to celebrations that way. So a little bit more about La Catrina. You'll see her in folk art. This one is made completely of paper. She's very sparkly, and her face is painted. So she's European style, and my mother gave me this one. She's got a beautiful dress on, And she's got a hat, not like mine, but a different kind of hat. And she's pretty wonderful too. So you'll see the folk art really is expressive and is humorous towards death. And we'll talk about that too as we get along here. But that is La Catrina, the character that is most iconic, representing the annual Day of the Dead festival. So the festival itself has roots in New World and European traditions. Native people of Mexico honor the memory of loved ones through this holiday. And those are loved ones that have passed away. The culture is not fearful of death, but rather wants to take more of a humorous look at it, not be fearful of it, but to celebrate life instead. So that is the most important thing for us to remember. We're not worshiping those that have passed away. We're remembering them by doing some really neat things that I'll be talking about here. So this belief, mixed with the Christian concept of eternal life, has made some really great contemporary Dia de los Muertos celebrations that we know today. Now, I like to think of the Day of the Dead as a type of family reunion. It's the celebration of lives once lived, a reunion between those who have passed away with their family still among the living. And families usually begin celebrating as early as the beginning of October with decorating their homes, all the way to the end of Dia de los Muertos, which is November 2nd. It's believed in some cultures, South America, Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and so forth, that spirits return to visit the living one time a year to enjoy food, drink, and celebration. So again, you're getting together, you're telling stories about loved ones, you're celebrating their life, and you're remembering what they did for you and how special they were. Latin communities everywhere celebrate by building a memorial space in their home where you can place objects of remembrance of those relatives that are no longer with us. And they can be friends too that are no longer with us. So you may have a frame of your aunt, and then a necklace that she gave you, as well as food that she may have really especially liked. Like, let's say she loved candy bars, special candy bar right there. And that would be your way of winking at her and saying, I love you, I miss you, and I'm remembering you. So it's a little space that you temporarily put up in your home, and you say, I'm celebrating your life, and since you're no longer with me here. A lot of folks make flavorful foods. They work hours and hours to make tamales, to make mole, to make enchiladas, all the beautiful foods that the Mexican culture has. Things that are very special to the culture. They make candy, and they make sugar skulls with mold, and then they decorate the sugar skulls. So those are all different ways that the celebration extends into food. They hold overnight vigils, and they decorate grave sites with candles, incense, and flowers. And then they also dress in skull makeup and costumes like this, and they attend local celebrations. And that's what I like to do. It's really fun to go to Dia de los Muertos celebrations and then take pictures with those attendees, as well as I like my picture taken with folks that are dressed up as well. It's a lot of fun. You can create this look, put your photos on social media, educate your friends and your relatives about what the celebration is really all about. We're celebrating life and the lives that were lived here on earth. A lot of folks like to decorate their homes with skull folk art, like the La Catrinas I showed you there, or beautiful things like this. And the folk art is one thing that really, really attracts me to the celebration, because it's so colorful, it's so beautiful, and it's all meant to celebrate life. There's flowers, there's birds on here, and there's beautiful gold little accents to decorate this skull. So you'll see objects like this at the ofrendas that you'll see at celebrations, and they may be among frames of loved ones and so forth. And those are the memorial spaces within people's homes, as well as at the grave sites. So the celebration itself starts with the ofrendas in the home early in October. And again, those are special items that remind you of your dearly departed. And you can decorate those with flowers, with incense. The whole point of incense and candles and the flowers is that the incense and the smell of all of that is supposed to guide the spirits for a very short period of time to the celebrations that are here just for them for Dia de los Muertos. The community or town leaders set the date to celebrate near grave sites and in town centers. So these are in smaller Mexican towns, of course. And then as November 2nd gets closer, food, drink, parades, festivities take place. So all of that starts to culminate, and towards the very end, it's one big celebration of life. It's thought in some communities that spirits are to be received and welcomed for a 24-hour period of time. This is when gravesite vigils take place. So what happens with the gravesite vigils is that they're decorated with marigolds and the candles and the incense we spoke of, and then everybody brings their food, they bring lawn chairs. It's like a big old tailgating party, but what they're doing is they're sitting, they're listening to music, they're eating, they're remembering their loved ones and telling stories and laughing and celebrating. So that is what the gravesite vigil is for. And it's not a sad moment. It's remembering those that we love the most and telling stories, thinking that they're only going to be with us for a brief period of time, 24 hours, to say, I love you, welcome back. And once a year, this is what happens. So we spoke about celebration objects, and those are just little remembrances, framed photos, a piece of jewelry, something that reminds you of your loved one that you put in the memorial space in your home, if you care to participate that way. Also, the flowers, such as marigolds, they have a pungent scent. They're thought to guide the souls of the dearly departed so they know where the party is. And although marigolds are the number one flower featured in Dia de los Muertos, baby's breath is also another very small flower that is used to decorate by the truckloads in Mexico. It's just a beautiful, beautiful celebration. So incense, such as copal, with its exotic perfumed wood smell, comes from the copal tree. It is a sweet and clean smell. And it's commonly used to draw, again, the spirits in case they can't find their way. It's to guide them to the celebration, guide them to the party. We are welcoming them and saying, we love you and we are remembering you. The folk art that I've shown you, that also can decorate ofrendas, or it can decorate the gravesite, the skulls, the sugar skulls, whatever you like. Also, there are tissue paper banners that are created, and those are hung and strung up. I have some here, but they're not made of the tissue paper. It's made of the little felt skulls. So there's all sorts of ways to decorate your home, the gravesite, or your ofrenda if you care to participate. So many different ways we can celebrate Dia de los Muertos this year. Next year we'll be meeting more in person, but there's a lot of online celebrations that you can participate in. You can create a memorial space or ofrenda in your home. You can attend an online celebration or one that's held in person. Also, you can bake pan de muerto or something special, a favorite food of your loved one, and raise a glass to that person saying, we love you, we miss you, and we're celebrating your life. You can celebrate by placing fragrant vases of marigolds in your home. You can visit loved ones at their grave and place marigolds down on their grave. It doesn't have to be an overnight vigil, but you can just visit a gravesite and you can put candles there. You can do whatever feels comfortable for you. You can decorate your home with Dia de los Muertos folk art. And you've seen some of the pieces that I have, like La Catrina or the little skull that I showed you. They're just festive, and they're what is used for Day of the Dead celebrations. So you can look online for ideas to paint your face, come up with a costume, post pictures online, or attend celebrations like this. And then you can take pictures with people who are also dressed up at these celebrations. So I want to thank you for listening to Dia de los Muertos, celebrating our dearly departed. If you'd like to know more about folk art for Dia de los Muertos or a makeup tutorial, you can contact me. My name is Anna Johnson, avid enthusiast for Dia de los Muertos celebration. You can reach me at asugirl1040@gmail.com. And have a great Dia de los Muertos celebration this year. Thanks for listening.